I'm Catherine Ross, and I'm here live from the NYC with Jim Cramer. Jim, before we get to the weekend, what's on the top of your mind?
Okay, it's the let's just say resurgence of the industrials. ITW with a number where the revenues are shortfall goes to 52-week high. 3M bounces back. Caterpillar continues to go up after that not great number. These are all signs that maybe the worst is over for the U.S. economy. I know that will mean the macro guys will say, then why do they need to? They don't need to tighten. They don't need to loosen. Forget that. It's not what matters. September was a strong month in this country, and that's what I'm starting to feel.
In your Real Money column this morning, you spoke about CAT and how it came back after reporting earnings that missed expectations.
Look, Caterpillar basically said we didn't do well, but we're going to support the dividend and we're going to continue the buyback. We're also used to when CAT doesn't do well to expect something really bad. We didn't get that. And so you have Caterpillar going up. The extraordinary ones are ITW. I mean, you know, we made some money, then lost some money in ITW for the Chapel Trust, and that was because, you know, when there was this big scare about a recession, the stock got crushed. They have a lot of auto. Now, the fact that pastiche of business is being liked is very bullish.
Well, and you also said in your Real Money column that it might be time to put away those recession bells, but with the Fed meeting next week, and if they don't cut rates, are the recession bells?
I don't care about it. No, let's get away from that. Let's get away from that treadmill. And now, you know, there's some people whose beat is to do nothing but talk about the Fed, so they're not going to get away from the treadmill. But get off of it. What you should focus on is how well a company's doing and how well a company's prepared to do. PPG was the one that was first told you, look, we've cut costs. It doesn't matter how bad business is. We're going to make money. ITW is a money-making machine versus revenues. This making more money with lower revenues is a new theme. And by the way, isn't that the theme that we got from Tesla? Making more money with lower revenues is very hard to do.
Now, you can, of course, read up on Jim's column over on realmoney.com. You can also read up on our Real Money stock of the day, Amazon. Amazon reported earnings that fell short of expectations last night.
I mean, this is another one I got to explain. All right, so here's the way you're a trader. You're given, million shares to go. So you start the stock, you hit it, you sell during the day. Around like 2:30, you really slam it, and then you let the stock lift. You sell a little more, and then you go into your accounts. You say, look, my average price is $1,700. It traded at $1,690, so I did better. So the idea of coming in today and buying Amazon is a mistake. You got to let these sellers get out because they're institutional sellers. But then you buy it because there is no change in Amazon. They discovered that America loves one day. So they're going to give you one day and they're going to pay a little more in order to get you one day, and then they're going to get the cost of it down, and you're going to say, why didn't I buy Amazon? It happened again. It's not unlike what happened in April of last year when Amazon went down hard because the president was saying, listen, they're going to lose, to redo the contract. Amazon gives you these gifts, and when they happen, you got to take them. It's why we sold the stock much higher for action alerts, because we believe the stock can get hit again. And when it gets hit, we're going to buy it.
You did tweet last night that Amazon's earnings were suboptimal, but Jim, with a company like
suboptimal.
With a company with Amazon that has AWS, that has one day, that were all brought up last night.
Advertising very good. I mean, look, the results were suboptimal, but what matters is how they think going forward. And I am telling you, they're very bullish on Christmas. And it just seems like everyone thinks that they're downbeat. That's wrong. That is wrong. They're not downbeat.
So was your biggest takeaway that they were bullish on Christmas?
No. I mean, they are bullish on Christmas. In the call, you might have thought that they weren't, but that's wrong. They are, and that's why I like the stock.
Okay, let's talk about Intel.
Remember, I mean, the way I always try to explain institutional trading to people, what happens is you go in and you say, listen, I got 1 million Amazon to go. And they don't just like sell it, they work it. And as they work it, they try to keep it, they nail it down, and then they try to show that, they did better than the average. It's what they do. So, that's why it's always very hard to buy a stock that's down big intraday, betting that somehow it'll close up big. But I don't really care. Amazon's good.
All right, so another company that was good in investors' eyes was Intel, which reported earnings also last night.
Straight out great upside surprise, and that's just the demand is extraordinary. It's data center. The way to play data center is NVIDIA, because data center, if the basic part of data center is doing well, then you want the souped up hyperconvergence chips of NVIDIA, which is why NVIDIA is taking off in honor of Intel. NVIDIA's going much higher.
Well, what does Intel's earnings tell you about the other semiconductors?
Well, the read-through here is good for AMD, good for Intel, this data center. And then, you could argue it's still good for Micron. You could argue that you want to own semi-capital equipment, but we just had yesterday, Lam had the biggest gain. Lam's the #1 stock now in the S&P 500. This big action alert play. But look, pick a semi other than Texas Instruments and other than Analog Device.
All right, Jim, before we go, I want to publicly say that I'm rooting for the Eagles this weekend.
Thank you very much.
Because
you got your bye.
Yeah, we got our bye, and I'm using this
Weather's supposed to be not that good. I think that the Bills are much better than people realize. Go to Bull Market Fantasy to find much more. We had a great show yesterday.
We did have a great show. Of course, head on over to bullmarketfantasy.com. If you're on TheStreet.com or on Facebook, we are now heading over to our Action Alerts Plus daily rundown show over on actionalertsplus.com. I'm Catherine Ross, and we'll see you on Monday.